Trump has begun demolishing the White House. Not all of it, just the East Wing. This is in order to make way for a big ballroom. This is going to be something special, $250 million worth of ballroom. Let's have a listen to what Donald Trump said about the project earlier today.
We're building a ballroom. They've wanted a ballroom for 150 years, and I'm giving that honor to this wonderful place. I think we should do it. This was the ballroom, and this room holds 88 people. And the new one will hold 999 people, which is a difference. I say 999 because I didn't want to crack 1,000. I didn't want people to get concerned. I didn't know I'd be standing here right now because right on the other side, you have a lot of construction going on, which you might hear periodically. But that's a knockout panel, and that goes right into the ballroom. You'll have drinks, cocktails, everything on this floor. And then they'll say, "Welcome to dinner." You walk into the ballroom, Mr. Senators, and you're going to see a ballroom the likes of which I don't think it'll be topped.
I don't think it'll be topped in typical Trump fashion. Let's speak with Matthew Bryza, former White House official. Nice to have you with us, Matthew. All good Trumpian stuff. Is he playing with history? Is he knocking down something he shouldn't be touching? Or was this a project due to happen?
Oh, I think it's a project that was due to happen. And thanks, Ian. It's great to be with you.
You too.
Okay. He had said he wasn't going to make any changes at all in the existing building, but yeah, I know that building really well, and it looks like what he's doing is he's kind of shaving off part of the existing East Wing, is what it's called, which is where the First Lady's staff has their offices. Yeah. And then he's going to build out and make it bigger. And, you know, he knows how to build nice buildings, so I think it's much ado about nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising, really. I've been to the White House a couple of times, and it's surprising there isn't already a ballroom. You'd imagine that any kind of big official, whether it's a palace or a house, whatever it happens to be, you just kind of assume in your head that it's there somewhere.
Yeah, but that's part of the allure of the White House. It's that it's small and kind of modest. Yeah. And therefore, it's sending a powerful signal about the strength of democratic institutions rather than ostentation. I remember the Deputy National Security Advisor's office is a former closet. I mean, it's really tiny, but its proximity is what's important. It's near the Oval Office, which is where all the power is. So sometimes small is stronger.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's kind of obviously it's a big building, but it's not a big building in a way. You understand that because you know the terrain really well. And I remember I got a tour. We happened to know somebody who'd worked in the administration at the time. Got a tour of the West Wing, and of course that's not always something you can do. So you get a peek into the Oval Office, obviously not allowed to go in there, and the Situation Room and all that business. But it's like a kind of maze, isn't it? It's very small and narrow. Yep, it is. It is because everybody wants their office or their workspace to be as close to the Oval Office as possible. Yeah, so the spaces are really divided up and they're small. And yeah, I mean, President Trump is right. There is no ballroom. The East Room where he was, it can hold a bit over 200 people, like 230, it's 240. Well, his ballroom is not going to hold 999 as far as I understand it. It's around 600, about triple the current size, but still. I mean, it's, the more people that you have makes the event maybe less exclusive. On the other hand, I think future presidents will be grateful that he took this step. And yeah, this will be his personal historical mark left on the White House. Yeah, I assume his name will be attached to it somewhere in years down the line. The Trump Ballroom or Donald's Diner maybe is perhaps a snappier way. Maybe that will do it. But nonetheless, you can kind of imagine, and looking at some of the real estate he's owned over the years and his hotels and things like that, he loves a bit of gold, doesn't he? So you're kind of, if you think of a Donald Trump ballroom, you are forced to imagine a lot of gold in there. Do you think he'll take that with him into this new design, or will he be true to the kind of history of the White House?
100% gold, like Mar-a-Lago, or even like the Oval Office now. I mean, it's just loaded with gold. And before him, there was no gold. There were, a couple of oil paintings. It was a very, very, reserved was the approach and very refined. Yeah. So he's loaded up the Oval with gold, and he'll do the same in his ballroom. And I think he'll slap his name on there from day one.
Yeah, American taxpayers are not being asked to dip into their pockets for this. Not even Washington local taxes are paying for this. This is privately funded, right?
It is. It is. He's getting donations at about $25 million a pop from some of the biggest U.S. tech companies. And so, yeah, for them, I mean, to get their names on a plaque somewhere and to build their relations with President Trump and keep them happy, for them, it's a pretty good investment. And, yeah, for the American people, too. Yeah, no taxpayer funding.
Yeah. Well, how does planning permission work in Washington? Because in most cities, you know, to get through people often think that governments are impenetrable to change, but you guys know the same as we know here. It's often local governments and councils where the real problems start, because you want to change a window in some buildings, they'll tell you you've got to jump through hoops. How do you get permission to demolish part of something as big and significant as the White House?
Yeah, I've been pondering that question today. First of all, the municipal government of the District of Columbia does not have a say, because that's federal land. But, you know, I guess there's no law that says the White House can't be touched by the U.S. president. That would be congressional action. So it's just been sort of a norm of behavior that generally the White House is not changed, except that, you know, the East Wing was built at the beginning of the 20th century. The West Wing was built after World War II as U.S. power expanded. So there have been additions. That's normal, and that's up to the president's discretion. But yeah, knocking down part of it, that hasn't happened. There've been other alterations, though, like, for example, the press briefing room now, it used to actually be a swimming pool and was covered up, and that's why there's this expression of the press pool, the White House press pool. It's because literally that room was a swimming pool before.
Is that where because the word pool in press terms comes from that? I never knew that.
Yep. I used to give a lot of West Wing tours when I worked there, too, so I collected some funny statistics.
That is fascinating. That is fascinating. We had a message, Matthew, from Trevor in Harrow, who says, if they're knocking down part of the White House, why don't they make it pay for itself by selling off brick by brick as a piece of history? That's a kind of good idea, isn't it?
It's a great idea. I'd buy one. Yeah, very good idea. Yeah. We ought to get that into President Trump. He might see an opportunity to make some money.
Although it'd be unlikely that he hadn't thought about ways of making money. So maybe, I'm sure that decision was put on the any other business part of the meeting and never got through the main stages. Listen, Matthew, great to have you on, sir. Thank you. Matthew Bryza, former White House official. I mean, obviously, buildings, you know, old buildings have to sometimes be either rebuilt or reimagined. Is that a phrase? I think it is. Or extended. And, you know, different times call for different things. And it happens for different reasons. You think of Notre Dame, you forget that thing's been rebuilt after it was, you know, not far off burnt from the ground in significant parts. Whereas the White House, yeah, I mean, it does make sense. It would have a big old ballroom in there for massive functions. I mean, I would imagine that's been the case for years, where they've thought about putting something on and thought, well, we can't hold it here because we haven't got the space. They can maybe now change that.